Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies. Mike and I are going to be taking a look at these papers this morning. Today is Monday, April 22nd, 2024. The Guardian newspaper starts like this. It says, on used vehicles, import slumps 32% as dealers trade safety for survival. Salvage titles. Now, there's a little infographic there. About 80% of the vehicles classified as accidented. Clean used vehicles average cost at $9,000. It's actually quite alarming, the numbers I'm seeing on the cover there. Mike, what's your preference, Tokumbo or used?
Definitely. If you have the option, you go. The closer it is to manufacture date, the better it is for you. I've always been a proponent of, no matter how small it is, my car should be able to carry me to where I need to go. I would not trade luxury for convenience, or I would not trade convenience for luxury, as it were. You know, to go for a luxury car that doesn't have a resale value or that is far from manufacture date and all of that. You know, but all of this, with the price of $1, there's a lot that I think stability is what we're looking for. Once for a while, once you can see there's a stable, naira for a while. A lot of these import duties and all of that, things might be stable and we know exactly what we're doing.
It says here, World Bank pre-qualifies Nigeria for friendly $2.25 billion loan.
I heard about that yesterday, and I was wondering, what have we done with all the loans that we have received? It's not a problem to owe. Everybody, even the US is owing.
Of course.
Do you understand? Everybody is owing. In fact, they said the world is owing over how many trillion of dollars, and they were wondering, who is the world owing? But the point is, what do you do with this? That's always been the concern. That's always been the challenge. Borrowing is not a problem. What do you do? What can we point out to say, this particular channel loan, this was used to do this? We don't just want to get to see some people all together, come together and just divide this money amongst themselves. And we heard about Abia State. It was trending over the weekend in the news, where the past government just came and allocated contracts to themselves, non-existent contracts, and billions of naira were just allocated between people, non-existent contracts. That is not what we want to see. What can we use all those monies for?
At this point, we're going to move over to another newspaper now. We have the Daily Trust. Mike, do you have that?
Okay, let's see what we have on the Daily Trust here. 2,583 Nigerians killed, 2,164 abducted in 3 months. That's a report. We've reduced casualty figures. That's from the NSA. Says there are over 300 bandit warlords in the north, and fleeing villagers storm Zamfara government house. And insecurity, that is quite something. And the reason why insecurity is quite an issue is because there is sabotage. There's sabotage from within. That is the problem. We know the thing about insecurity and banditry, as it were, or terrorism. Let's put it in the best terms, as it were. If it's going to last after a while, you know that a number of people who are expected to help in the security architecture of a country are part of the problem, or they are the ones. People are profiting of war. People are profiting of bloodshed and all of that. If we can find a way to root out such people, or find a way, if it's possible, that's when you can start talking about a panacea to this particular issue of terrorism and insecurity.
Now, the infographic on the cover of the Daily Trust is quite alarming, actually. The numbers that you see there are quite alarming. And if you grab one of these newspapers, you'll be able to go into that a little deeper. Now, it says here, despite increased derivation fund, oil-producing states owe 1.6 trillion. And we're still on that same paper, right, Mike? Niger State, it says military confirms 6 soldiers killing, launches manhunt.
Yes, that was a quite sad story. Was I think 2 officers and 4. I saw that early this morning, and we thank you for the Armed Forces for your service, and we commiserate with the family and friends, and also the Nigerian Armed Forces for those who gallantly. I heard it was an ambush, and they actually did kill a number of the bandits, but they were unable to escape the ambush. Quite very sad. Very sad. Very sad, and we commiserate with their families and friends.
We have the Punch newspaper with us this morning as well. It says Emefiele social programs. Banks withhold 330 billion naira CBN funds. Cardoso may order refund. It also says here a number of banks keep unused funds. SMEs seek fresh loans. NFIU, NIRSAL to tackle anchor borrowers, loan defaulters, and CBN rules out interventions. On the Ondo poll, Lanlate-Eruwa others protest as Ayedatiwa wins APC ticket. Top left there, federal government probes $500 million local content loans project. On the equity market, it apparently suffers 1.6 trillion naira loss in 1 week. And army vows to revenge after terrorists kill 6 soldiers.
Yes, so there are two things I just want to talk about. Of course, what we mentioned here on What's Up and About discussion, outrage over discrimination against Nigerians at Abuja Chinese supermarket. That's at the bottom right corner. But just before that, I don't know if you saw a video of Songota yesterday, and at least over 10 electric poles, or as it were on the ground. In fact, at one particular point, I saw a bus, and it seemed as though the bus was dragging it, or it fell on the bus. I don't know exactly what created that circumstance, but that is danger. If there's power in those cables, the ground is wet. Do you know what it does to anybody around there? Over 10 cables. That's well over maybe a stretch of a kilometer, over about a kilometer of road. And I saw all the cables. The poles on the ground, over 10 poles, at least from the video that we saw.
It looks quite scary.
Songota, I don't know what caused that, how it caused that, but a state of over-emergency should be declared. People should just get out from there. Of course, the power, someone was joking, I said, look, I'm 8 years, and we receive light for that side. It should be turned off, and those things should be evacuated ASAP.
Yeah. And hopefully the right people are listening and watching out for that situation. We have another paper here. It says, I think it's called This Nigeria.
Oh.
The newspaper. This Nigeria newspaper.
This is Nigeria.
This is Nigeria.
How FG's actions fuel high cost of goods, inflation. It's been on and on and on. So the whole talk about how it's easy to step up prices the moment the dollar goes up, and how it's not coming down and all of that. So here is a detailed report as according to this paper. You might want to read it out and check it out. Experts, traders, consumers identify erratic border closures, insecurity of farmers, as extortion by security agents at checkpoints as major causes. Now that is one. Remember that video we saw of somebody who was transporting food from Benue State, I think it was to Lagos or to the south. He had over 25 receipts and said at every point he had to pay. The food itself was not expensive, but by the time he collates all the monies that have been paid at those different agents, sub-agencies or whatever, it goes down to the end consumer, and food now becomes expensive. You know, that is so, and that is also what they're talking about, that it's fueling the inflation, as it were.
On the cover of the paper, there's also a photo story there. Our very own Tunde Onokoya, during his attempt, his successful attempt at breaking the Guinness World Record for the longest chess marathon. He was playing at Times Square in New York, and it was live online. And yes, we congratulate him on such a successful feat, an amazing feat. And yes, he's put Nigeria on the map once again. I believe he's raised quite a lot of money. I'm not sure the exact amount as at today, but we will definitely be talking a lot more about him a little later on.
All right, let's head over to Danny, who's in the kitchen this morning. Danny, you need to give yourself a name for this, for your outlook this morning. But well, it's not about you now; it's about the food.